Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ben Coleman, your anchor host for the Florida Aviation Network, here coming to you live and in the clear from the Central Florida Aerospace Academy. We are at Sun and Fun number 51, and the motto is more fun in 51. It's been a great year so far. We have had a very, very safe time. If you have been here on the grounds in the afternoon, you've realized it's a mite bit warm. We are in Florida. It is springtime, but it's nice. We bring to you compelling, entertaining, and informative shows throughout this process. And the reason we do it during Sun and Fun is because we have a myriad of talent and big swingers here. Not in the party sense, but the guys, the shakers and the movers, the guys that make things happen. We have with us today Mr. David StGeorge. David.
Ben, thank you.
Glad to have you here.
I appreciate it.
Relax a little bit. Enjoy some of the air conditioning.
Yes, it's starting to finally kick in. I'm becoming conscious again after the heat out there. Thank you.
But David, with SAFE, tell us what is new. You come to us every year. We always love to talk with you, but
yeah,
getting updates on what's going on in SAFE.
Well, I'll tell you, Ben, we passed our 15th year and we've grown considerably, and we now have an endowment. We're giving scholarships. If you don't know, we're a 501c3 educational not-for-profit, and so we are able now. We have the young lady down here getting her CFI. We're paying for it. What a talented person. She got a seaplane rating at Jack Brown. She got a multi-engine rating, and she works with the 99s down in Miami, Anna Gabrielle Costa, and we said, hey, we'll fund your CFI certificate.
Excellent.
So like everyone else in Florida, she's now struggling to get a DPE to give her the test, and I might be torn to come down and do that for her. So, but what a talented lady.
Well, and isn't it a pleasure? Isn't it rewarding and refreshing to find new talent coming in? And
it's every day. That is what keeps you going.
Yeah.
And I know this was with you too. You
Sure.
know, it's these people that are eager to learn, eager to be professionals. The thing with SAFE is we're really pushing the excellence part of it. I was over at AOPA, Ben Gintner, and all of that, and we have a safety pause, you know, and part of that is everybody gets together and we put materials online. Not a stand down, but a pause, and every one of us can grow and learn every day. And so, you know, what's new? We're still doing the work, but we have that scholarship, and, you know, I wrote a few things down there, CFI Pro, and, you know, SAFE every day is growing. And
well, let's talk about the boot camp and hearing it from you. SAFE, I think, is an acronym.
Oh, thank you for asking. Yeah, Society of Aviation and Flight Educators. And, you know, that puts the focus right on the educators. That's who our target audience is. And that CFI Pro, what that is, as it was mentioned in the green room, it was developed in Orlando as an enhanced CFI program. Orlando got tired of seeing all these accidents, and Larry Enlow, very forward-thinking person, said, we're going to bring everybody back into the FSDO for one day of additional training. And so the mothership, you know, we do a little training, and one additional day of training in 2 years resulted in a 60% reduction in the accident rate. And so, you know, when that went away and Larry unfortunately perished, we said we'd take that over, we trademarked it, and now we take these to academies.
Great.
They don't come to us, and we can't compel them to come in. Like Larry said, you come home. So we go to schools, and any school can call us, and we'll come in as a SWAT team, and we'll present the materials. I don't stand on the table like Obie Young and do the Dale Carnegie talk, but we do a good job, and there's like thousands of articles now on safeblog.org, and a lot of that material has found its way into CFI Pro. I just got another a school signed up for us to come out and visit and do the program. So it's taking those young CFIs, giving them just, you know, equivalent of that one day more, and it's the on-the-job training, what we call the missing manual, and it's highly effective.
Wow. I really enjoyed doing those CFI special emphasis programs.
Yeah, I bet.
My shtick was airworthiness.
Sure.
And I would love to talk with some of the flight instructors, but I had to be very careful because I didn't want to ground all the airplanes out there.
Isn't that funny? Yeah. If you look carefully, any plane.
Don't look too close,
Yep.
but look closely. But just be responsible know what you're responsible for. Is the
Well,
deal.
if you didn't know it, that sheet is still up online somewhere, and we still use that airworthiness sheet you created.
Oh,
yeah,
you know, we're
that is
still
a
gonna
document that we still use.
We're still going to do. I would love to come to one of your outfits and do Iraq Evisatophy.
Is that your acronym for the?
Acronym used to be AERO.
Yeah.
That's all you needed to go and
Right,
fly
right.
for airworthy aircraft. But now it's Iraq Evisatophy.
Rolls off the tongue.
Just easy.
Rolls off the tongue.
I don't tell you how many years it took me to
Figure that one out.
But
Yeah.
anyway,
Many sleepless nights.
but David, the being an educator it's a challenge for the youth in I guess in the world right now, as far as the knowledge level, the base level, the basics. You're an educator in a different level of people because they're more accomplished. They're typically, being a CFI, it's not easy to be a CFI. I'm learning that. 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm trying to get my CFI.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, CFI is a pretty high level. The thing that we emphasize at SAFE is that once you've achieved that, even when you got the certificate, there's much more. And if you take, just what we were talking about, the temporary, when somebody gets a CFI temporary, it means they're safe in the right seat to have somebody in the left seat and fly, handle the controls, talk on the radio. We've made them safe, but we haven't really made them into an educator. That kind of develops on the job, and that's what that training is kind of the on-the-job rest of the story. A person like yourself with a lot of experience is a much more natural CFI because you communicate well. You realize that if you're in the right seat and you are with a learner, you're not handling the controls. They should be. So, hands off, and you don't talk, and, and that's when you really find out what they know. A missing component in many CFIs is the ability to evaluate. In other words, where are they now? If I don't know that, I don't know what they need to move them further.
A baseline.
Yeah, a baseline is a very good term for that. So, all of these things are in the CFI Pro. One of my favorite parts came from the Navy. It's the 6 flight training fallacies. And you can find that on safeblog.org. And Navy research development, and these 6 items, if just those were communicated to new CFIs, I think we'd make them much better educators. Because people are paying an awful lot of money to do that.
Sure.
And it's still 4 out of 5 don't make it to a private pilot certificate.
That's the dropout.
That is the 80% dropout rate.
Wow.
Still. It's still, in some schools, I think Aviation Adventures up in Washington thinks theirs is around 60, but nationally it's still around 80.
And we, it's been doom and gloom for many years as far as, we're running out of pilots. We need mechanics.
Mechanics are vital, yeah.
And we're not through yet, but I see a big emphasis of a swarm of folks coming into our industry. And now the challenge is for the industry to make sure that we have positions for them, paying positions. Because, in the mechanic world, you could make more going down to the Honda or the Ford dealership and working on cars.
Yeah.
With not near the responsibility. But,
right. And the liability.
Oh my goodness. But being an aviation mechanic and being an aviation, I get a flight instructor, it's a different level, and it's not for everybody.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of human skills involved. There's a lot of technical knowledge required, and yeah, it is certainly something that takes time to build. And I think on the shirt, I have the Master Instructor logo, and that is something we emphasize too, which is people should continue to learn. And what we do is every 2 years we reapply to be a Master Instructor. You need 500 hours of continuing education units. It's like any profession. If you want to keep it, you have to keep learning and growing. So, yeah, I've done it 14 years. So that's or 14 times, 28 years of renewals.
Good grief.
But yeah, good grief.
But dedication.
Yeah,
it does take a lot of dedication.
Well, yes, but it's always rewarding, and you know this. You've been an educator, and the fact that some of my students are retiring from the airlines now is a scary thought. But SAFE is a very vital and growing organization. We just passed like 7,500 members, and I think last year I talked to you, we had 6,000. It's growing great, and as I said, educational, not-for-profit, means that we're providing resources every day. Instagram, we have a monthly newsletter, the Safe Blog, every week, which I got to go get busy and type up for tomorrow and put it out online.
And you were talking to me earlier, David, that there's some pretty neat stuff by going and hanging out with the Safe
Oh,
crowd.
thank you, Ben. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, there's right now at the booth, there's a Lightspeed Aviation Delta Zulu headset, which is, you think of a headset, but this is wearable technology. And one of the embedded features is the fact that it has active CO monitoring, carbon monoxide monitoring. And if anyone knows how a plane works, it's a pretty old machine, and there's maybe problems in that exhaust system. And unfortunately, unlike cars, that can be ducted right into the aircraft, and it's very disabling. I've been poisoned a few times. So this has active monitoring. When you put these on, if an aircraft is unsafe, it's going to tell you right away. And as a CFI, we're jumping in a lot of planes. I'm a DPE too, and I'm giving tests in all kinds of planes. So for safety, we're recommending everybody has one of those tools on board. In addition to being a very good headset, it also has active hearing compensation. You can actually give yourself a hearing test and turn up different parts so it equalizes your hearing ability. What a tool. Anyway, it's free to somebody who joins SAFE at the show. We have a raffle, and everybody who joins and any member who contributes $15 or more gets in this raffle. Scott Ashton has also donated an portable oxygen system, so there's a bunch of prizes.
What is the membership fee to join for
yeah,
SAFE?
good question, Ben. And it's $55 a year, and for that you also get, stand drum roll, right? Third off of ForeFlight. One of our members taught the guy who wrote the app, taught him how to fly, and in gratitude we get this 1/3 discount.
Well, that's a perk.
Well, I'll tell you what it is if they give us $55, they save $70. So it's even pilot math. We can figure that one out, right? So I mean, that's why we have grown so rapidly, and very much appreciate the support of our members.
You know, David, something you just mentioned, the carbon monoxide deal.
Yeah.
We know that carbon monoxide, you can't smell it, you can't taste it.
Tasteless, odorless.
But the thing is that, well, the fumes would come into the aircraft and probably go out the back. But where's the lowest pressure in a cabin or cockpit of an aircraft?
Well, I may learn something right now, sir.
Forward and up.
So
right
it's
about
gonna,
where the pilot's face
it's going to come
is.
right through you.
Because it's shaped like a wing around the windshield.
So
low pressure.
it does that same.
The low pressure effect.
Okay.
So it seeks its way up to the front, and that's the reason it's so darn it's
dangerous.
Deadly.
Yeah,
it is deadly.
Well, I was poisoned once on a flight test in an old 150, and after that test, when I opened the door, I tried to get out and my knees buckled. And I didn't even realize at the time I had been poisoned. And you think of the cognitive loss,
Sure.
things that could have happened in flight. Both the applicant and I were unable to drive. We had and there's oxygen will not help you there. No.
Nothing but time.
You've been poisoned. Yeah. So, and this is something, I don't know, we've danced around it. People get those little plastic things they put on their dashboard. I've never seen one of those.
A black dot?
Yeah. When it's black, you're dead. So,
Okay.
yeah.
David, how long have you been in SAFE?
In SAFE since it started. I was a founding member.
Wow.
Yeah, no, and it's not that old. I was in the other organization before that. But SAFE is a different breed. It really is the intellectual higher end, as Ben said, movers and shakers. And even the FAA administrator, when he came to our symposium, said, you guys are the movers and shakers in aviation because we have all the master instructors, DPEs. But my favorite guy, Ben, this is a story. He's my mentor because everyone should have a mentor. He came down from Vermont recently. I'm trying to follow the camera. And he's everybody on Instagram holds up the iPad with their hours. And Hobie Tomlinson, I said, Hobie, how many hours? Put that on the iPad, hold it up, and we take the picture. 43,200 hours. 1,500 Atlantic crossings in a 747. I'm like, that's my guy. And he's still an active instructor, holds a medical. So what a guy.
That's great.
Yeah.
What are we doing to bring up the new level, the the next era of pilots?
Well, they're coming along, but the challenge is to make them pursue excellence. And that historically has what's kept us safe in aircraft is they're not pursuing the minimums; they're going for a level of mastery. And I think the way to really encourage that as pilots or instructors is to model it. And that's why I go and do the master instructor thing and wear this shirt that we call the peacock shirt. It's like you have to model mastery for the new people coming up. Because we do hear, that there's situations where these people aren't quite equipped to handle the challenges. And that could lead to an aviation safety problem. So our job as CFIs is to bring people beyond those minimums in the ACS and make them excellent pilots. So
the striving for the profession. Are we near an airport, Dave?
I think we might be under the flight path of an airport, Ben.
But
that's where we want to be.
Absolutely.
That's why we came.
Best sound in the world. I'm mesmerized by the number of flight instructors that both go to the FERCs as well as they have the requisite hours of instruction to renew every year.
Yeah.
Because just like my IA, every 2 years.
Every 2 years, yep.
You need to meet a certain level of performance.
And that has changed. People know the certificate does not expire now. The piece of plastic you will keep, but you as an instructor will expire. And that's what Jay Flowers is coming tomorrow to the roundtable to talk about.
Excellent. Who's was Jay? Is it Jay Flowers and there's somebody else?
Jay Flowers is going to be there, Dave Baer from FAAsafety.gov. But basically, we're getting together a little group with free ice cream at Prop 75. You are invited, 4 o'clock tomorrow, Saturday.
Is ice cream cold or is it melted?
No, this is just right out of the freezer cold.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's all the flavors, and they have the toppings. Oh my God!
Oh, you tease me.
You should be there.
You tease.
But anyway, that's I've heard it increases the educational ability of the people attending. That's why we provide it.
A nice cool brain freeze.
Yes,
brain freeze.
Brain freeze, yeah. But anyway, Jay's coming, and Mike Shiflett from CFI Boot Camp will be there. We have a lot of guys, Brent Kobe from Sporties. What's come out now, and this is brand new in the industry, is these AI tools. If you get a knowledge test that has the deficient items on the bottom, there's an app now for Sporties. It'll take a picture, it'll tell you what all those items that were deficient and create a study guide. Gleim has one that if you do an oral with this, it talks back to you and corrects you. It's sort of like DPE in a box. The stuff that comes out, Chat DPE.
Chat DPE, wow, cool.
This is, who would have thought, but what a great tool for learning. So Gleim will be there, Sporties will be there, Jay will be there, Mike Shiflett. It'll be a good time. 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock tomorrow.
4 o'clock tomorrow. But you got to be here at
You got to be here, and we're going to raffle another Lightspeed at that event, another Lightspeed headset. So
again, you make it awful tempting.
Compelling. I better see you there, Ben.
David, did you realize that the FAA appreciates so much what you guys do at SAFE that they have allowed this show to qualify for Wings on the Wings program?
Excellent.
And as a matter of fact, at the end of this presentation, there will be a code word. It's a top secret code word that's going to be rolling at the end of this show.
So if people actually get their wings for a listen to us discuss?
It's
got that value.
It goes into the toolbox.
Excellent.
David, thank you so much
Ben
for
Coleman,
joining us.
thank you.
And let's see you next interview.
Okay.
Next year?
Oh, I'll be here.
How about tomorrow at 4?
You're going to come for the ice cream.
You
Let's
betcha.
do it.
Okay. We'll see you. Stand by for that code.